Today, Eric plays Scarface 9020. Welcome back to our third part of the playthrough. So far so good. I think what we really need now is focusing on making money, and we can make money if we get supplies from our dealers. And I would like to start getting another dealer to increase the supplies I get when I use that action. So in order to get another dealer, I need influence. So I will use that card for my plan with 1 influence. And then we need to move one of our minis to the underworld. So we take one from the headquarters, place it to the underworld, and then also increase our weight track. And in that way we can draw the dealer card. And we got the winery owner. So with 2 muscles we can get 4 alcohol barrels. I need to think now if I want to have it separate. So I only need 2 muscle for 4 barrels, or I can move it, let's say, underneath the alcohol supplier, and in that way I can use 1 plan with 3 muscles and get 6 in 1 turn. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I can use the skill to retrieve one of my minis from district or dealers, but I don't want to get minis back from the district because I try to claim and overtake the neighborhood from the AI player in the far north side, and I don't have any minis in the by the dealers, so that's all I can do. I basically discard that card. And I can't draw a new card because there's nothing in the drawing pile. So that's my turn. Drawing 2 cards for the enforcer. And there's no movement. So we have a closer look at the cards. The first possible action is the enforcer seizes 1 neighborhood in the current district. So he doesn't get an additional power. He has a power of 1. And I don't think that's enough. Let's have a look. So number 5 is the current district. We have a defense of 3. We have a control marker, which gives us additional 2. And then we have a police car, which adds another 1. So he would need to have a 6 in total. But he only has 1, which is not enough. So he can't do that. Looking to the next card, the enforcer, if the enforcer has 2 or more minis in the prison, he would send 1 mini to the authorities to retrieve the 2 from prison. If you look at the prison, we can see he has 2 minis, so he will do an action and have a look at the board. We take 1 from the headquarters and place it at the authorities, and that way he can get both of his minis from the prison back to the authorities, to the headquarters. Next action would be if at least half of the enforcer's neighborhoods are unsupplied, the enforcer sends one mini to the supply to get supplies from the dealer. And he has more than half of his neighborhoods unsupplied. That means he will do that action. Take one of the minis from the headquarters and we can place it in one of the two dealers he have, and then we can see he has he gets 2 supplies here, he gets 3 supplies here, and then he doesn't get an additional supply from the main board. That means that's a total of 5. And as we know at this stage, the enforcer always gets more barrels than guns if it's uneven, and we place them now on the neighborhood. So because the dealers are empty, we place the first barrel here and then a gun over here, and afterwards we have to focus on the neighborhood which gives the highest value, which is the nightclub over here. So we place the 2 barrels over here and as well as the gun. And that was the 2 actions he could do. So we can take off the cues and discard the card. That's back to us. So for our action, I think I will use the boss. He has a current value of 2 influence and 2 muscle, and I will use them to upgrade one of my neighborhoods to a nightclub, which cost me 8 money, 2 muscles and 2 influence. So we place that in our plan. We pay 8 money, getting 2 back. And we can take that cube over here and place that one in the nightclub. We need to increase the rate tracker, and then we can flip the neighborhood to the night area and mark it with a nightclub business token. So now we have a defense of 6 and we need 4 barrels and 1 gun to get 28 money. We advance our boss mark and we can see we have another white hand symbol. That means we can pick another card from our white hand, and let's have a quick look. Okay, I think I will take the chauffeur because he has a muscle of 3. So we can take the card and put it in our discard pile. We can then use the boss, the skills, and we know that one of the skills the boss has is taking the family ring, so we take that back, and another one is to take one of the skills of the associates here. So we'll have a quick look what we could do. So we pick the casino owner again. We gain 1 money for each casino we control, and then additionally, if we have the family ring, which we do now, we get 2 money for each of that green symbol we have in our discard pile. So first thing first, we control 1 casino, means we get 1 money, and then have a look at our discard pile. We have the symbol 1. Yep, only once. Gives us 2 money, so we get a total of 3. Take the 3 money and place it to us. We can now take the boss card and put it into a discard pile. We still have the consular, and it goes back to the enforcer. We draw 2 cards. We have a movement value from 0 and 1, so it's a total of 1. The marker is currently at 5. That means he moves over to 6. So first possible action would be the enforcer sends one of his minis to the underworld to hire 1 associate. He has a total power of 1, and I think this time we have one with only 1 star. So first, what we should have done the last time, we refill. And then we have an easy decision because there's only 1 associate with 1 star. That's that one. So we take that, refill. And as we know, the associate counts only for the AI player at the end of the game. So we can easily put that to the side for now. And of course, we should not forget to place one of his minis in the underworld, which will also increase his rate from 5 to 6. We can mark that with a cube. There's 1 action cube left. So we have the enforcer sends one of his minis to the underworld to sell in the neighborhoods. Looking over the map, he can't sell anything. Let's have a quick look. He has 1 alcohol barrel and 1 gun with the suppliers, and he has 2 barrels and a gun in that neighborhood. He would need 5 barrels and 1 gun, so he's 1 barrel short. And here he would need 1 barrel and 2 guns, or 2 barrels and 1 guns, so he's always short by 1, and his trucks are over here, so they are no help, so he can't sell. So he can't do that. But the next option would be if at least half of the enforcer's neighborhoods are unsupplied, he would move 1 of his minis to get supplies for the dealer. And we just check the neighborhoods, so it's the case. He can do that action, and we will place 1 of his minis to 1 free dealer. And as we did the last round, we take a mini, place it in with the dealers. The dealer all have already a supply, so he gets 3 and 2 again. We place the 3 barrels over here. That's what he needs to fulfill that one. And then we have 2 guns left. We place them over here because that's the next highest. That was the 2 turns. We can discard the cards and it goes back to us. With the last card in my hand, we have 2 influence. I think I will get an associate, and he costs 2, and he has 2 muscle. He can help me to seize the neighborhood, and that's what I want to do maybe. So yeah, for that we have to move 1 of our minis from the headquarters to the underworld. And increase the rate, unfortunately. But now we can take that card, and we have to place it in our discard pile, which is fine because we reshuffle it later anyway. And then looking at skill, I could carry out 2 orders, but I only have that card, and I used influence. So yeah, there's nothing I can do more. There's no cards I can draw, so it's up to the AI player now. Drawing 2 cards again, and we have a total of movement value of 1. So let's move the marker quickly. Enforcer marker is on 6, so he goes to district number 1. And I hope he doesn't do any bad things to us. The enforcer upgrades the recruitment stats if possible, otherwise he will upgrade vehicle stats. So he has a total power of 3 plus 1 for that action. So let's have a look on his player board. Recruiter stat, he would need to have 4 power, which we have, and he has to pay 8 money. So let's take 10 and give 2 back. Alright, now we can then take that stats cube and place it here, which means the weight track goes up by 2. And the boss mini moves up. So from now on he has 3 actions. So we give him another action cube. Let's mark that one. Next would be if you have the family ring, you pay 6 money and give the family ring to the enforcer. So yeah, we have that. We can mark it. We pass the ring over to the enforcer and also pay the 6 money. And for his last action, the enforcer steals 2 goods from each neighborhood you control in the current district and the following districts. We currently don't have any goods in the neighborhoods, so we move on. If the current district has at least 1 neighborhood not controlled by the enforcer, that's indeed the case because we control it, the enforcer moves as many minis, cars, trucks as power to that district. So here he gets 3 from the cards plus another one, which is a total of 6, but he only has 2 cars on the map, so and they will move to our district. We take both cars and place them over here. So he did all his 3 actions. We discard the cards and it goes back to us. So since we don't have any cards left, we need to do the reorganization turn. That means we can sell in our neighborhoods. We don't have anything, we have no goods. And then we retrieve all our minis from the authorities. We don't have any here, only the enforcer has one. We can bring them back from the deals. We don't have any one over here. And job as well. And then we can retreat from prison as many lawyers we have. We have 1. So we take 1 mini back. There's still 1 left over here. And then we can do recruits. We have a recruit value of 1. That means we can move 1 from the slums to the safe house. And yep, we need to move the time tracker. There's no extra, and we can reshuffle our deck. Oop. That one goes here as well. Alright, and then we can draw 3 cards. And it goes back to the enforcer. We still draw 2 cards, the last 2, and we can see that he has a movement value of 3, 2 and 1. So let's do the movement first. He's currently at 1. Plus 3 means he moves to 4. So the first action he can do is if the enforcer controls all neighborhoods in the current district which he does, the enforcer moves next to the most profitable neighborhood we control. Okay, so that looks like he will move back to 1 because that's the one which has the most value, 42. So we take the enforcer token again and move it back to 1. Okay, if the current district has at least one neighborhood not controlled by the enforcer moves as many cars and everything to that location. He did that already the last time. The enforcer seizes one neighborhood in the current district. That's bad. So let's hope he can't do that. He has 2 power plus an additional 1, which is 4. So let's have a look. Our defense value is 6, plus 2 for our building is 8, and the drugs don't give us anything. So the enforcer needs to have 8 or more. He gets 4 from the card, 4 power, and then he can use the cars. He gets an additional 1 per car. It's a total of 6, which is not enough. So that's good. We can still keep that neighborhood for us. Alright, then the enforcer seizes one neighborhood in the current district, so we did that. That one would be even worse for him. If the current district has at least one neighborhood not controlled, he would move as many to that district, leaving at least 2 in his headquarters. So that's what he can do. So he will move minis from the headquarters to our district. He has a total power of 2, so we take 2 minis and we place them in our district. And now theoretically he would have the power to seize the neighborhood. Oh well. That was his second action, and there's still one left. The enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to sell in the neighborhoods. And he can do that, I think. Yep, he's able to do that. So let's place that cube over here. And we place it in the underworld. That increases rate track. And then he can sell in the neighborhood. He can only sell over here. I think maybe here as well. Yeah, here as well. So let's start here. He has 5 barrels, and he can take a gun from the supplier. So we take all the goods, and then he gets 38 money. 38. Then let's have a look over here. Oh, I just saw there was a gun already, so we can place that gun back. Over here he has 2 guns, and he needs a barrel and 2 guns, so we can take the barrel and use that for the sell, and he gets another 18 money. I will give him 20 and take 2 back. That's the end of his turn. We can discard the cards and move back to us. Yeah, I was really hoping I could seize that neighborhood before the enforcer was able to sell it again. But unfortunately I wasn't in time. Was not looking good here either, because he might seize my neighborhood. So I would like to try to sell here, but then I need to put goods into that neighborhood, and then it's another turn of the enforcer and he can steal it then. But I don't think I have a different option. So what I will do is I will use my boss and the bodyguards. That way I have a total of 3 muscle, and that way I can use the dealers here. With a total of 3 muscle, I get 6 barrels. I will place a barrel here, a barrel over here, and then 4 in the neighborhood, in the hope that the enforcer won't seize it. Then I will use the skill of the bodyguards. I can move a police car for free if it's next to a neighborhood I control, and that's indeed the case. So I will move that one over here, down here. He will give me another 1 for the defense, just in case. And for the boss skills, I will take the ring back, and then I just see we need to refill that here. And then we can, for the boss skill as well, let's take that one. We can place a speakeasy marker on a neighborhood we control. So speakeasy is a business marker, and we place them just up here. We discard the 2 cards, and we draw 2 more. All right. So let's do a small correction. Last turn we used the dealers to get supply. We should have placed 1 mini to that dealer. Let's do it now. The enforcer doesn't have any cards to draw, so we need to do a reorganization turn for him as well. Let's quickly shuffle that, and we start with selling of his neighborhoods. That's what he did last turn. There's nothing left, so we can't do that. Then he gains 3 money for each business marker he controls. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That what we had the last time is gone. So it's 6 multiplied by 3 is 18. So we give him 20, and we take 2 away. Then he steals from us again. So for each job card he has 3, multiplied by the amount of news cards we have here is 3 as well. So it's a total of 9 money. We give it to him. Let's see what's next. He retrieves the minis. So the 1 from the authorities goes back. The 2 from the deal are going back. There's no 1 in prison, and there's no mini on the job, obviously. Then he can recruit. He can these days recruit with 4. So all his minis can go to the headquarters. We shuffled his deck already. We have to advance the tracker. And yeah, that's it. So it goes back to us. We have the ring. We get the money. I would really like to sell now my goods here in the neighborhood, but if I do that, I need to place a mini in the underworld, and that would bump up my wage track to 11, which would trigger a raid, and I want to avoid that. So I could, thanks to my card here, I can use 2 orders in 1 turn. So I could reduce my raid track first and do then the sell, but I only have 1 mini in the headquarters, so I can't do both. So yeah, I think what I do now is using the bank robber to move one of my minis over here to reduce the weight track by 1. Or should I have used them as well? Yeah, I think that's the only thing I can do. I used that, unfortunately. I did that, and then I could gain money, but that will increase my weight track then again. So I don't do that. So I discard that card, draw a new one, and we move to the enforcer. Okay, we see we have a movement of 1. Let's do the movement. He is in 1, so he moves to 2. That's his own neighborhood. It's good. So first thing, we have to give him the family ring back and pay him 6 money. Here's the ring. And here's the money. So we can mark that. Next, the enforcer upgrades the recruitment stats, or if possible, otherwise the vehicle. So he has a total of 4 power. That means he can upgrade the vehicle because he needs 4 power, and he pays 8 money. There you go. We take that, place that here, which increases his weight track. So it goes up to 11, and that triggers a raid. Alright, first thing, we have to place the police cars in each of the districts: central, far south side and far north side. So one is in central already. Let's have a look on the map. So we have a car in the central already, we have one in the far south side, and the one I recently moved to the north side needs to go back to the far north side and will help enforcer again. Alright. Okay, and then both our markers, so the one from the enforcer and our marker from the raid track, is between 9 and 11, and that means spend 2 money for each of our raid level. So our marker is at 9. That means we would have to pay 18 money, but we only have 3 left, so we only pay 3. And the enforcer is on 11. That means he has to pay 22. He has more than enough to do so. There you go, and we pay that. And now we can decrease the raid track by our lawyer's value. The enforcer has a lawyer's value of 2, and we have one of 1. So we reduce our by 1 and the enforcer by 2. And then we can discard that raid card. Now we can take a car from the enforcer and place it in the current location. And the boss marker moves 1 up the track, and he covers B. That means we can take all the B cards, shuffle them, and take 1 card. If the enforcer has 2 barrels, he could put them on top of his draw pile, but I can't see that he has enough. That means it goes straight into the discard pile. So we can add that marker here. Yep. Okay, next would be if the current district has at least one neighborhood not controlled by the enforcer, he controls the neighborhood. So next would be the enforcer steals 2 goods from each neighborhood we control in the current district and 2 following districts. So let's have a look at the map. He's in 2, which he controls, so he can't take goods from us. And then the 2 following would be 3 and 4. 4 is his own and 3 is empty, so there's nothing he can do. Enforcer, now if the power is greater than the number of jobs the enforcer has, then he would send 1 to the underworld. That's a power of 3, he has 3 jobs, so nope. And then the enforcer sends 1 mini to the authorities to add a business marker. Yep, that's what he can do. Place to the authorities, and then we place a random business marker over here. And that was his 3rd action, so we can discard the cards. I will use the casino owner, who has a power of 2, and I have 2 skills. One is gain money for each casino I control. But the better part is, if I have that symbol in my plan, I could make a sale in the neighborhood with a casino I control. And the neighborhood over here, which I wanted to do the sale for a long time now, has a casino, so I can do that for free. But I need to have another card with me with that symbol in the plan. What I do? Alright, I want to use that skill first, so I can make that sale over here. I can take the 4 barrels and the 2 trucks counts for my 2 guns, and then I get 42 money. 42. I also get 1 money for each casino I control. I can control 1 casino, so hey, I got another money. And then he gives me the possibility again to split my turn into 2 orders, and I think that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Yeah, let's think about it for a moment. It seems that I locked myself into a bad situation because I don't have any mini in the headquarter, and because of that I can't do any underworld action or authorities action, which would allow me to recruit my minis or get them back from the prison. So there's nothing I can do, unfortunately. Yeah, so I discard the card and draw 2 new cards. And here is a card which would help me the next round to get 1 mini back from the district or from the deal. So yeah, I should have had that before, but hey, what can you do? Alright, we move to the enforcer. We can draw 2 cards and we can see that he has a movement value of 2. Enforcer moves from 2 to 4. It's still his neighborhood, which he controls. If the current district has at least 1 neighborhood not controlled, so no, the enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to hire an associate. Yep, he can do that. He has 2 power. increase the rate track by 1, and we take the leftmost card, which has 2 stars for his 2 powers. We place that to the other cards, and then we follow on. The enforcer seizes 1 neighborhood in the current district. Nope. If at least half of his neighborhoods are unsupplied, he will send 1 to the dealers. Yep, that's what he does. We take 1 of his minis and place it to the dealer, and then again, a total of 5. He gets 3 barrels and 2 guns, and we will place the 3 barrels over here, as well as 1 gun, and the other gun goes here. Okay, then the enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to sell in the neighborhoods. He doesn't have enough supplies. If power is greater than the number of jobs of the enforcer sends 1 to the underworld to get a job. If the power is greater, no, it is not. He has 3 jobs and the power are 3 as well. The enforcer upgrades the gang with 2 powers. He can do that. He's currently in District 4, which means he would upgrade vehicle. He can't do that, and then it moves to 6 in that case, because that's what he can do. With 2 power, he pays 4 money. So let's take the 4 money. Then he can take that cube. We can place it over here, which increases the rate track by 1, and that means again we draw a rate card. Alright, what does it say? Place this card beside the underworld. If a player has at least 3 minis in the underworld at the end of their turn, they gain all the money on the discard, on that card. So the enforcer is on red, obviously. He takes 15 and has to play the 15 on that card. Okay. There you go. And we are on 8. We have to pay 10 on that. And we can also decrease by 1 level. Okay. So we take that card and place it as a reminder next to the underworld. And we can see already that the enforcer has 3 minis, so he most likely will get that. And then we both reduce our rate track by 1. We then move the mini 1 to the left, and he gets 5 money. Let's grab 5. There we go. And replace it into his pile. So from now on, he will have 1 additional power. Okay, that was all 3 of his actions. Now it goes back to us. So, and we take that card into our plan, which let us retrieve 1 mini from the district or the dealer. So we will take that fella and put it back to the headquarters, and then I will use should I take them back? Yeah, I will use that symbol to move that one to the underworld, which will increase my rate track, and I can recruit. So I move that from the safe house to the headquarters, and that's it. I can discard that card. And now if we have a look again on that white card, which says place this card beside the underworld. If a player has at least 3 minis in the underworld at the end of their turn, they gain all the money. So we have 3 now. So at the end of our turn, we take the money. We can discard the raid card. Okay, so we draw a new card, and then we hand over to the enforcer. We draw 2 cards. He has a movement value of 1. He's currently at 4. We take the marker, and he moves to 5, which is our neighborhood. The enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to sell in the neighborhoods. He doesn't have enough goods. The enforcer has 2 or more minis in prison. No, there's only 1, and that's my mini. If the current district has at least 1 neighborhood not controlled by the enforcer, the enforcer sends as many minis as power he has to that district. He only has 2. Oh no, he has 2 minis now there as well. Fair enough. Would be a total of 3. So we place that over here. And oh no, he moves from the headquarter. Okay, so he moves 3. So you can take 3 from the headquarter. There are still 2 left, and place them in my district. If the power is greater than the number of deals, the enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to get 1 dealer. Okay, we take 1 mini, place in the underworld. We move the raid track, and that will trigger another raid. But before we forget, we take the dealer and place it next to that. Okay, let's have a look at the raid. So each player spends 3 money for each business marker they control. Let's have a look. The enforcer controls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be 21 money. So we take quickly 21, take it away, and we control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 15. So we take 15 and put it away. So the enforcer is on 11 threat. He needs to put 3 minis from any district to prison, and we are on 8. We have to place 2 into prison. Right. So for the enforcer, 3, we take them from his current location, and we need to place 2 with the 2 over here, and they go into prison. And then we can both decrease the rate by 2, and we discard that card. We mark that, and then the enforcer sends 1 mini to the underworld to hire 1 associate. He has a total of 2 total power, so yeah, he can do that. So we take his last mini, place it to the underworld, increase the raid track as well, and then we need to flip that. He can have 1 with up to 2 stars. There are 2 with 1. He takes the leftmost. It's that one. Now we refill that quickly, and that goes to his pile. That was his 3rd turn, so we can take that and discard that. Yeah, we're not lucky with our cards, but we try to fight back. The 3 cards we have there have muscles and no influence, and I have 1 mini in the headquarter. So I was thinking of retrieving from prison, but for that I need influence. I don't have influence. So you know what, I will use 2 cards to place that mini here at that dealer, which will give me a total of 6 barrels. So I have 6. I will place 4 over here and 2 over here, and then I could use, let me see, I can either spend a good to move the police, or I can move it if it's next to my, so I don't want to spend something. And here if I seize the neighborhood, which I don't do yet, and the other one, steal from a rival neighborhood next to one of my trucks. My trucks are all next to my neighborhood. So that's that. That's all I can do. I will discard and I draw my last 2 cards. Alright, let's go to the enforcer. So we have a movement value of 1. He's currently at 5, so he moves over to 6. Let's have a look. The enforcer seizes one neighborhood in the current district. He owns that neighborhood. If the enforcer controls all neighborhoods in the current district, yep, the enforcer moves next to the most profitable neighborhood you control. He is already in that location. If at least half of the enforcer's neighborhood are unsupplied, the enforcer sends 1 mini to the dealer. Yep, that's what he can do. No, he can't, because he doesn't have a mini in his headquarters. The enforcer seizes one neighborhood in the current district. He has that already. If the action deck has at least 5 cards, the enforcer sends 1 to sell to the authorities. If the actions deck has at least 5 cards, I'm not quite sure what that means, the total or the draw pile, but I think it's the draw pile, so we have less. If the current district has at least 1 neighborhood not controlled by the enforcer, nope. If the police of the, or if the raid marker is at level 6 or more, reduce their marker by, okay, that's what he can do. So it's a +2 and a 3 plus the 1 he gets from the player board. It's 5. It doesn't say, normally you would have to place a mini with the authorities, but it doesn't say anything. It only says we should reduce, so that's what we do. We reduce it by 4. And then the enforcer carries out as many recruitments as power. There are no minis in slums, safe house, or whatsoever, so there's nothing more he can do. So he can safely discard the cards and move to our turn. So in our turn, I can use that card to get my mini from the deal back, so we have 1. And then I could possibly do a sale in 2 neighborhoods, but for that I would need to have 2 influence, and I have only 1 influence, so that's a pity. But I will play that card so I can retrieve one of my minis back to the headquarters, and then with the 1 influence I can place that one into the underworld, increase my raid track, and do 1 sale, and I will sell the 4 barrels and 2 guns on my trucks, and I get 42 money. So I take the 42, and then we can discard that card. I have 2 cards left, nothing to draw. And now it goes back to the enforcer. And the enforcer doesn't have cards left, so he needs to do the reorganization turn. So let's go to the big map and then we follow all the steps. Alright, first he does the sale, but he doesn't have enough goods in the neighborhood, so he can't make a sale. Or he can make one here. He has a gun, he can take another gun, and he can use that car as a truck for the barrel, and so he would get 18 money. Give him 20, and take 2. Alright, that was the same. Next, he gains 3 money for each business market he controls. So he has 3, there's 7, so he gets 21. Yep, so I will give him 50 and take away 29. Alright, there you go. He will steal from us now again, and that's depending on the jobs. He still have 3 jobs, and we have 3 news cards. That means it's 9, so he gets 10, and I take 1 back. He retrieves all his minis from the authorities, from the deals, and he can use his lawyer marker with 2 from the prison back as well. Then he could recruit, but they're all in the headquarter already. Let's see what else. Yeah, we shuffle the deck, but I think that's not important anymore, because we now move the turn tracker and it reaches the extra, and during the extra we will do the one last raid. So let's have a look at the card. So it does actually matter, because we can move the time marker 1 back. Okay, and then I'm on 7, so discard 3 cards from your hand and or deck. Alright, I have only 2 cards in my hand. I will discard them. And for the enforcer, he is on 6. He discards 2 from his hand, but that doesn't matter. And then we reduce with our lawyer's value, which is 2 for the enforcer and 1 for us. That's 1 for us and 2 for the enforcer. Okay. Yeah, we can discard the raid card. All our underworld minis are going to the prison, which is a lot. And then our cop moves 1 up. We would refresh the associates. Like that. And yeah, we have to reveal the news card, and that will trigger the end of the game. It's a funny situation with that marker, because the raid let us move them back, but I think because we were in the extra phase already, we had to draw the card now. The game will end now anyway. Yeah, what a hard game. Let's count the money and see how big we lost. So we get for each business marker again 3 money. So it was 7 for the enforcer, so that means he gets 21. There you go. And for us is 5, so we get 15. Let me grab that quickly. 15. And then for the associate cards, he gets money as well. That's the same for us. Gets 2 money for each star. So we have 2, 4, 8, 10. Alright, have 2 forever. And then we have some as well. We have 2, 5, 8. So we get 16. Okay, and now we can count. I will just quickly change the money to make it easier to count, and then we will count it together. So it comes down to that. The enforcer has 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 320, 323 in total. And we have 50, 100, 105. So I think we can't say it was close. But I really enjoyed the game. I also do have the expansion with additional enforcers, so maybe I will give that a try at one stage. And then the game found, the expansion, I'm waiting for that as well. So as soon as I receive that, I think I will do another playthrough with the expansion. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and see you the next playthrough.